Conservative manifesto in Battersea Power Station, talking Turkish. We'd have been happy to put our questions in Turkish. Any language the Tories cared to name if they had bothered to send someone to turn up and be grilled. We will keep this list of questions for the day when they do provide someone so we can call them to account. Maybe tomorrow. You've got some emails. Yes,
I have got some emails. There have been plenty coming in for you, Tessa, Jowell. I'll just pick out a few. Unfortunately, we don't have a name for this one. But Andrew Neil quite rightly pointed out the promises broken by Labour, but Tessa Jowell blamed the global economic crash. However, that happened recently and Labour's been in power for 13 years. How do you explain all the other broken promises?
Because I can also point to, the enormous achievement. And let's take child poverty.
What about the broken promises? I think that's what they're interested in. What about the things that you have...
let's take whatever broken promises you're referring to. What are you saying is a broken promise?
Well, some of the ones
that was not affected by the global
so you're saying
economic
all
downturn.
The broken promises have been affected by
I'm saying that economic policy, fiscal policy, public investment policy had to be reviewed at the point of the global economic downturn.
What about 2 million extra homeowners by 2010?
Well, we have
seen. That never happened.
We have seen. Well, two things on that. We have seen, but first of all, an increase in home ownership, and very particularly in the money allocated to building affordable housing.
But you didn't do the 2 million.
But the second point is that during the downturn, money has been invested in a highly targeted way to prevent people losing their homes. So home repossessions during the downturn are less than half what was predicted at the beginning.
But one of the problems is picked up by James Bateman of this feeling, certainly by people, that there have been broken promises beyond the strict economic things that were affected by the recession. You keep talking about the sunrise on the cover of Labour's manifesto. This is you, Tessa Jowell. Surely it represents the sunset of New Labour. The most feeble election statement ever yesterday when Gordon Brown grandly assured us that he hadn't put up VAT in brackets yet and wouldn't in the future. Is that they don't believe that you're not going to do that because you can't give a cast-iron guarantee?
Look, I think that the next 3 weeks will be a proper debate. You couldn't get a Tory to come and debate their manifesto with me today, Andrew. They're going to have to do better than this. They're going to have to get out there and they're going to have to answer questions about this, because we are subject to scrutiny, as indeed we should be. And, I'm prepared to go through each one of the items on that list and explain. And on VAT, we didn't put up VAT. We've made and
you can't guarantee that you won't, obviously, for the reasons that have been set out.
No, but that's because no Chancellor can say there are no, unforeseeable, unimaginable circumstances in which we wouldn't have to look at. But the manifesto is very clear that we have no plans to increase VAT, and none of the public expenditure plans are predicated on that.
I've got an email here from James Brennan. Thank you for the extra programmes over the election. Every time I turn on TV with the extra time for the daily politics and this week, I think I'll have to pay more for my TV licence fee with all this extra quality. How about that?
I am absolutely delighted that he thinks he's getting such good value.
There you
and
go.
The importance of the BBC as our public service broadcaster.
And don't you forget it.
What a good point to end on.
That's it for today. Thanks to all our guests. A special thanks to Tessa for actually turning up and answering our questions.
Anytime.
Even when they're tough, she does it with good humour. We'll be back for another election special on BBC Two tomorrow at 11:30, when we'll be joined by the former Conservative Ian Duncan. No, he's not a former Conservative.
Leader.
Former Conservative leader.
Still good.
Unless there's a breaking story. Ian Duncan Smith.